So what this says, the fact that there were so many different texts in the year 400 and the bishops were trying to narrow down. What this says to me, and hopefully says to you, is that way back in the year 400, when Christianity was still in the beginnings, there was not just one way to be a Christian. There were many. And the reason there were so many is because every single person who Jesus met, every single person who made a Jesus connection, was part of a community who continued to talk about what happened when Jesus showed up, to talk about the lessons he taught and the healings that he shared. So long after he left one community and was on his way to the next community, these people were still thinking and talking about what had happened. You know, again, with someone who has an active, holy imagination, when I think about this, what I see is Jesus as this swirling, dynamic energy, a bundle of energy, so that wherever he went, he left a movement. He left people talking about, and this is what happened, and this is what I saw, and this is what I remember. And this community would be swirling, and Jesus would go over here to this community, and they would become swirling, wondering, pondering, remembering, and yes, sometimes fuming. And some of these different groups would focus on his wisdom, his sayings, and how they were different from what they were used to saying. Other communities would focus on his activism, the way he stood up to the authorities. Other groups would focus on his healing. And of course, with the passage of time, as the stories of Jesus were shared over and over and over, they became holy and sacred, filled with meaning. That made them worth remembering and recording. You know, Jesus covered a lot of area and he visited a lot of communities. So it's also important for us to remember that he taught and healed and came into contact with people of different ethnicities, people who probably practiced different religions, people with different needs and different interests and different levels of spirituality and different understandings of God, of who God is and what God does. And perhaps this diversity, this openness to speak and to connect with everyone was one of the most challenging aspects of Jesus. One of his most challenging practices was including everyone, even the lepers, the tax collectors, the sinners, the children, the women. In the real circle of Jesus, no one was left out, not even the women.